Alright, nani ko getishit not na ba Emoo FM kaskalingu tabeta Brian. Tetu not na ba celeb check in beta Brian gora ko mona lenchin every week. Amutu tay ke terter so binu ngalale ndul ngalale ngalek ke chang gitinye ga polotet ngalek mabulatet kitesine abo kila kitu netese tai. Engburu not na ba ko lenchin no beta Brian ge mitena governor ne tai na ba county not na ba Bomet Isaac Kibrono Ruto na ge mitendwa ne kaskalingu tabeta Brian eng tetu not na ba celeb check enunguni agoi saite tamanagenge nebo koskaling atachi so bit ke sa tul gibagenge ago straight away mtu kabita tachin mheshimiwa karibu sana na ketishia na ba Emoo FM. Karibu sana.
Yes.
Angana lengeni nchitugul. Memache in introduction.
Higuro ni sagara Ruto. Amenyo Bomet.
Yes.
Chepalungu.
Yes. Yes. Chepalungu. Now, angana lego testayo in party primaries. Mangana lego field and chamid nebo CCM positions tugul chebo MCS chebo MPs chebo Senate and Bomet.
Kogi filen my Bomet negen, kogi filen and Bomet governor, senator, women rep, all the MPs and Kichiro Kiba MCA. Kogi filen gora in other parts of the country, including governor ne contest in Baringo.
Yes.
Senator, women rep, MPs, MCS. And that is the second county. Another county go Narok. Ketinye bara pichecha. Ngechiro kiba chonda tugul except magitinye Narok ngecheret nebo governor.
Amane simoni Narok.
Ngecheret nebo governor ko candidate nenyon ko kinge ngololchine ak UDA. Kiyonjine ko crossing over ko kubarchige en UDA. Yes.
Imache ku governor nebo Bomet ako ki first governor nebo county nebo Bomet. Amane simache ku governor nebo Bomet for the second time.
Yes, kaje ki aginam ko pagai ko sisio magitar angot kuma kiwega sige tar ko mucho ko tabi forever and done. Ago ginget collusion vision must the same dream. The team nagiba. Kwa mfano nguni kingwa kometa agot schools chegiteche. There is a school nagiteche with 40 million and nothing is happening. Miss meeting cooling plants chegi bagage ma collected chega we spent a lot of money. Case in point Konegurenji was 2 years. Now you spend about 16 million but nothing. Mami hinega testa. Stadium never met Koraku we met Kunota. We spend over 200 million and it is the third largest stadium in Kenya. Mucho go Kotebi. PK 47 to 50,000.
Yes.
And it's an international standard field. Migora projects Chang Chuba Nalega cooperatives, Nalega empowerment centers, Chigiba Vijana.
Yes.
Kugi Bagach Matage Magegi. Meeting Kora Commuster never livelihoods. Kige concentrated agwagere ko concentrated serikali ni magile concentrated ngap ko ay tukun chinamagak go barabara.
Yes.
Namna hii kityo agisids ki tabu ne mitene nguni Bomet ko ngalega livelihoods wo bananda en Bomet.
Yes.
Kagile number 5 in the poorest counties in nguni go Bomet. Meaning monkey poor and resources, natural resources and go the capital outlay near available. And I go road to Baneva, the soils, and I go up everything enough. In fact, we are probably one of the richest counties in terms of, for example, we've got 5 big rivers. Mommy and the other county with 5 big rivers.
Nyongores.
Mitten kitchen Nyongores, Kitendai Chipkulo, Kitendai Guren Sise, Kitendai Naguren Kipsonoi, Agetendai Taganaguren Cheplaquet, and several and another 2. And these are big rivers. Chebendi, Alagomen Lake Victoria. Even the source never Mara River. Kopunu Bomet County. The two tributaries to Mara River, one of the biggest rivers in the region. So we are not poor in those terms. Our Tagumi, Lagini the problem, management of resources, it is terribly wanting. kwa mfano nguni kitindoi agenda nebo livelihoods. Much emphasize on livelihoods. Kikimeto livelihoods. That is why poverty has grown tremendously.
Yes.
Age magit yoke ngalale ngalekab hardware. You me muche iendelea kityo, and a man shall not live on stone alone.
Yes.
Imuje ite got no. Lakini unless there is something to it, ngot ko mami kit nekiame, ngot ko makinyabi, ngot ko maboiboy, ngot ko mami komie lagok akobendi sukul, ko useless kori. So kwa hivyo kit nekimache keyai ko kewekun attention to livelihoods. There is something else ne amache kotako paying attention peak a large number nebo the group chema mait parak in level nebo education. Koki changa cheki dejected. Ma kotingenga self confidence. Ma kimache ke reinvigorate and kikochin self motivation.
Yes.
You find them koki koba kweisa ala ko teleldos in shopping centers doing nothing. Ala ki kobendi ka kobire ka kwony. Yeah, there's a big problem in that area. Ko kimwae kele kimache kikochin bichu changamoto. Ko feeling good that they can actually emulate what Kipchoge said. Kipchoge said when he was winning that no human is limited.
It's limited.
Meaning you must have a very powerful self-drive for you even to win a race. So we take Kipchoge kind of statement very seriously. No human is limited. Why are you allowing your lack of superlative performance in education to limit you? Why should anything limit you simply because you didn't have uniforms? And because you didn't have uniforms, you didn't go to school up to Form 4, you were chased in Standard 3.
Okay, I'm saying angara lei tare.
Yes.
I know. Like so in Nigeria, most of the things to get out and fast time come implemented completely this current regime.
My implemented, they just ignored them and left them. I got carry here keep metal kuruya and garages. Yeah, over 100 vehicles are in the garages all over the place, including Nairobi. Yeah, mommy movement even in the wards.
Why do you think Kimeta will not? For them, it wasn't a good idea, and then Kimeta.
They have. It's very difficult to understand them. What they are doing in the county is difficult to understand. There are very few people working now in the county. The rest are idle. Others very few, and even the finance fellow walks around with the computers so that he can. His office in the boot of his car. He alights and goes into a hotel and does payments according to his own whims. So, quite dejected staff. They sacked over 4,000 members of staff. This one is a disaster, and that is probably. And your time
could be more people like Kimit and Pike Changi or and ghost workers.
There's nothing like a ghost worker. There was nothing like a ghost worker. That fellow existed. They were calling Piki Guren Chepchuba, Guren ghost workers. Guren ghost workers, event organizers. Piki Pong on the public participation fora. You lazima give on the public participation arrangements. And that is part of the constitution. These people just didn't understand. They imagined the only staff in Yolobomi County the ordinary civil servants. They don't realize there is something else which this constitution could give. Give public participation.
Yes.
Give dignity back to the voter. That if you want to consult with the people, meaning you have a meeting as a governor,
yes,
or even your executives are having a meeting, that meeting must be properly planned and it must be properly facilitated. There must be chairs for the people you are consulting.
Yes.
They must have water. They must be even facilitated to come. And everything must be organized. The only people who can organize are not necessarily civil servants like you. Yeah? These are Wasomi, professionals. Yeah. Yeah, like in the maybe Kimi ground, Chebon going to do yourself in the villages. Even as we speak today,
Yes.
You have got to bring them on board so that they can organize meetings and that there is a linkage between county government and the people. Amacha Mona Legend can participate in throughout the constitutional review making process.
Yes.
To take back the sovereignty to the people. We wanted more public participation, public approval for every government project. And we wanted dignity back to the people.
Yes.
Because we had reduced them to very indignified groups.
Yes.
Because to yourself, in the previous arrangement, you would call a meeting and you would be the only one being given the chair. Maybe three or you who came. The rest are seated on the floor and are and they have got not even a cup of water or even a soda.
Yes.
And agogi kialura ya soda is somo 3 crates of sodas for 3 people. But what we are saying is the group that came in, and I think most of them, governors, the second termers, do not understand where we are coming from. Remember, a large number of them were not there in the previous dispensation.
Yes.
So they really don't understand, or they were not interested.
Yes.
The background of why we came up with the 2010 constitution. So Tugu ghost workers, they don't even realize that we need administrators at the village level. The constitution talks, function number 14 is the organization of the county government all the way to the village.
Yes.
There must be village councils to discuss things in those villages. And you don't come here and tell us, ghost workers.
So the reason I'm not saying ghost workers is because civil servants
they are not civil servants.
Like in salary in county.
Yes, they have to be facilitated. They deserve to be paid. Ago me muche ilenjon ngoro certificate nebo poyota cook poyoko. Lakini poyoko kutinya haki kigochi marupurupu. And we had designed keleki gochi 6,000 national government. I was pushing national government to give them another 6,000.
Yes.
Because you need 12,000 as a local, the lowest earnings in a village, according to statistics, Treasury.
Yes.
Central Bureau of Statistics. That person ought to be paid a minimum of 12,000 shillings. 12,000. We are the Uhuru government, the Jubilee government, that counties will pay 6,000.
Yes.
You pay the other 6,000. That's what we were pushing as the Council of Governors. Remember, I was the chairman of the Council of Governors.
Yes, true.
And I ushered in devolution.
Yes.
And I'm still passionate about those things. Kimache everybody to participate up to the ground. So going to be Kimangan Konyogole, what are the you're neo boys? You are wasting money.
Some of them maybe.
Let me also tell you, Kiki Gochini chosen, everybody above 70 in Bomet was getting the usual stipend. That time it was 2,100.
Monthly.
Everybody above 70. And everybody above 70, Kugilibajini NHIF.
Let me get it clear.
Then they came back, this is not a county function.
So apart from Chego national government, Chego Wase, Kukyo Gachini and Bomet different?
No, Kigo national government, Karibu big 30 in allocation. We would pay the rest.
Okay.
All the others. In Bomet it was 100%.
Yes.
And the aged. Kunyoru stipend.
Yes.
Agogi Nyoru through cash transfers via Safaricom portal nebo M-Pesa.
Yes.
Chebendi in bulk. Direct to every person. Kima warate Safaricom wane the county headquarters. Ama waende wa queue kwa Kenya Commercial Bank. They were waiting in their places. We had given them telephone SIM cards and handsets. The telephone sets.
Yes.
Mobile phone. And they were getting their money directly at home. And the village elders were supposed to now then go check whether they have received. And the assistant chief.
So kingonyo this current regime
corruption all that. Wazee sasa wamekaa na ufukara ile uwezi ukaelewa. Mune sigetabisa ni wazee. And it's not a very costly thing. It wasn't costing us so much money. No.
So apart from it, projects tukul chagicha tai chemache iwega ibe ya nguni ibe inami implementen. What are some of the things mara champion nguni chegere ile mache be gochi priority and county level bomb.
Champia impia in terms of kibagi inami implementation.
Yes.
Amuki magisi term it was kituki inyalo ga implementen in the second term.
Yes.
Ko kimache ga emphasize nguni entu kegure livelihoods. Livelihoods. We want to set aside approximately 3 million per polling center.
Yes.
Every polling center within the villages, maybe 4 or 5. Kimache ke spare an economic activity through increased productivity per unit acre.
Yes.
Increased productivity per unit acre. Kimache extension staff. Agi mache kinyongi net the rural folk. What it means to produce surplus production. Poverty is when you are hardly able. Yani mara go toma imu I produce an embarengung enough even to eat. That's where poverty is. Lakini the side again na mi produce jengure in economic surplus.
Yes.
Koga inami with towards wealth. If ngoti ibaishi in your family 10 bags of maize per year. Agi producing 20 bags.
Yes.
Then you've got 10 bags as your wealth. Surplus beyond what you are eating. Imuchi yalda chonitany, agi yalen imbaret and aditege to get. Or you start a business.
Yes.
By selling the extra maize. So we've got to take these teachings to the villages. We want to teach them how to plant crops for about 3 months, including cabbages, maragwe. We want to emphasize also on annual crops, how to do it and do it well. What is the right method of tilling land, and then we want to teach them how to keep perennial crops.
Yes,
we had started that, but it stopped. We also want to do strengthen livestock production, and then number 5, we have got to teach them entrepreneurship, so that our youth can start now going out to do entrepreneurship, irrespective. No, you are a human being, you are living. We can teach you malasima ginet ne Kiingereza.
Yes.
Hata kama ni Kalenjin, kiniti ne village Kalenjin, because kitundai vijana chechang kitara agriculture, agribusiness, livestock, and all that, and even trade. What a foundation. So kimachegebe line it up livelihood. The most urgent thing is livelihoods, because poverty levels are rising tremendously.
So kema livelihood ayu government unget na bomet ndagale ko ninga charane inye kochini subsidy. Are you going to subsidize some of the products angana lunguni ko mo ayi ko lagali postpaid kaline kalige swag?
It's not a question of subsidy. It's a question of teaching them how to make a living out of one and giving them technology that can do that. Here go in kitinye dry areas. And those dry areas, they are not really dry.
Yes.
Amugin yuru tagora in about 2 months, a month, 3 months, a month. And I'm not gonna go 2 weeks. Can you rob? But you see, because Groban Kobabeg, we forget about that there was rain after 2 weeks because a moon was sister.
Yes.
So Kimache get town water harvesting. Lagi harvest and dabbing, agin the liners, some manget people sipping through.
Yes.
And then we put solar, so that sipping pig cover drip irrigation.
Yes.
To get food. We want to do smart farming in rural areas, not just subsidy. Subsidizing fertilizer doesn't mean anything if people are not actually planting.
Yes.
And if they are not even planting for their own good. You see, you go subsidizing fertilizer, then people in large-scale farms come and take These are people who are even pichugo tinye uwezo agot konam koranen their farms as serious businesses.
Yes.
Lakini I'm concerned about the peasants. The peasant has no idea even what fertilizer is in some cases, in some places. Like in our region, they are not even using fertilizer. Very few. Fertilizer. The rest of the farmers hardly use fertilizer because they have no idea what the application is all about.
Yes.
So, subsidy about fertilizer is a second stage. It's a secondary stage,
yes,
which we can force national government to do. National government must do subsidy about fertilizer.
Yes.
Like the counties cannot manage subsidy about fertilizer. But counties can manage extension service.
Yes.
And even having little monies to support small enterprises.
Yes.
One other thing I want to do is to eliminate taxation at the lower echelons. Taxation border is actually irritating. Taxation mama mboga, taxation small shops is irritating. Excessive taxation also the ordinary wholesalers and other dukawalas. You find kwa mfano mio nagu mwangu liada in West Pokot, they are paying 170,000 for license to sell maize. Kwa nyoru chitane mio lijo kitawe vande. Kule 170,000 is a license. Yalde vande. Where did this idea come from? As a governor, I am in the forum of the Council of Governors, and we can influence the level of taxation so that we do not become punitive. Yeah, we are destroying everything. Yes. We abolished Rogoyed Negirate Sige collected borders. We eliminated that and told people, this is not a serious type of tax. No, the poll tax. Yes, yeah. What are they called? The Majimaji rebellion of Tanzania. There was a group who rebelled. Was it the Gorongoro or somewhere there? Yes, you are the Tanzanians.
Yes.
In 1908, the Majimaji rebellion. And Majimaji rebellion. Yes, your poll tax. How comes we are still having getting a very primitive tax? To collect it, you need a rungu. And anyway, you confiscate it until you check the Dukawalas. It's absolute nonsense. Only in the level of counties to respectable standards.
Yes. All right, nito kitubanga lalo nyone mbetuta Brian Rastana yagoine. Kongoi enokoi tool jogere live. Imuchisi ngalalan ya genge na genge eng radio nota getishene ba Emoo FM imuchisi paranga lalani live in social media pages jaza jabage getishene ba Emoo FM kongete Facebook, YouTube. Eng betuta Brian kama lenjin kimiten ak governor netai nebo county nota nebo Bomet. Haisa kruta negumiten tuan en kaskalungu tabeta Brian. Ngalale ngaleke chang masiasa gitu baten ngalale ngalek siasa aga tuke chang en kaskalungu tabeta Brian ago kimi ago iko turgi gesu guna teta non. Kibura na Simon Arab Kirich Lovechild mtoto na nyumbani of course ago kongoi enokwe tukul agira kwa tul jote tai osiru messages chaterter otebki no macho ateb en kaskalungu tabeta Brian. Na mheshimiwa amacho kwa viti toben county nota nebo Bomet enunguni. The current one enunguni. Amachi ger more specifically ger parchok. Ne gere ile the biggest weak link nebo parchok enunguni as a governor nebo county nebo Bomet.
His biggest weakness.
Kibire na norobta.
Ko kibire opta parchok kana. Amu kitemene no got healthcare. Ki Bomet County ko gigimegani chuagele migeri chief nansto.
Yes.
Kigitindai ambulances. Ki nibirite simo ko you get an ambulance within 30 minutes.
Yes.
Kigimaje tagi sibun ko nyogo 10 minutes. Ko nyogo wekta all those ambulances. There is hardly any. Kaga skele ko itura nego donate in the World Bank. Ogolele nkwale ogo donate in the World Bank. And then so madawa kuna kwa shops.
Yes.
He stopped water projects.
Yes.
Yes, Petos began Bomet for close to 3 months. And strangely, no one seems to know. And then, Kistopen capacity building and stuff.
Yes.
I go one in the training in the CDG Center for Devolved Governance, which we had developed in Bomet with the support of USAID.
Yes.
When you go one way in Atakataka place. And then he gave out the university, the stadium, which was not even complete yet. Kowa University. So the stadium could be like that. And it only required about 50 million and it's complete. And so could generate them resources through more people coming in, and therefore hospitality industry,
yes,
hotels, and small businesses would thrive. Or big business would still thrive. So healthcare, mambo ya maji collapsed. Staff training and capacity building is non-existent. Discipline within staff again. In your staff co absent for the last 7 months, and yet they are drawing salaries. I live in Bombay. No, if you wake up every day and you are in the farms with county staff, it's not an allegation, it's a fact. If you want to do fact finding, Bombay will show you. Don't even come and look for me. Come and ask staff, other staff, to tell you how many of their colleagues have not reported in the office for the last 7 months. Just come and check.
So maybe ghost workers.
No, ghost workers.
Because salary, ghost worker.
More than half are actually ghost workers. They don't appear in offices.
Yes.
Because there is leadership has completely broken down. But you a few.
Right, because I am very sure every governor get wrong completely. Maybe one thing the Namuji was like right, so far.
Propaganda. That don't exist. For example, he has been saying, and I would want you to come and do a fact finding. Come and find out whether we have got 500 ECDs in Bomet built these last 4 years. Find out in every ward, because 500 divided by 25 got 20. So you must find 20 ECDs in every ward. 20, then he's the biggest liar. Isn't it? Yeah, that is a lie. Look at roads. Total disaster. I've had to migrate. For the last 20 or 30 years, I've been living in Jibanuk.
Yes.
But because of the roads becoming completely impossible, going towards Sigor area, I've been forced in Bomet during this period of campaign. I'm not the only one. Yeah.
Kitanya projects sama macam lagi bawa Iraq. That is only one thing.
You are a beneficiary. That's why you may want to.
No, because not money na lagata deje ni barchok. But kim, yeah, you know that. So yes.
And then we do not know. And you know the normal thing, wage is the source of the destination. And sure as even the we saw something about Nandi.
Yes.
There was a name. One factory in Mong and Gubara, Koski and Abongo.
Maragim propaganda.
No. We saw it. We saw it. So the question here is what really happened?
Yes.
Agree? But the one batch. Is that the function of a county? The county is supposed to discuss a continuous marketing arrangement. When you look at Kenya Tea Development Authority,
yes,
Ministry of Agriculture, and the various external trade departments in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Yes.
Now all these departments were saying no. Munya is on record saying he's not even aware of any tea leaving Bomet, let alone arriving in Mombasa or going to Iraq. And then one serious question, and kwako, if you sell, is that what you normally do? Uko na ng'ombe unauza and you sell it and compound.
Yes.
Sindio? Na huyu anachukua. Now anachukua. Do you now go ahead where he received the Kenyatta?
No.
Where he's taking it to? I thought umeuza imeenda. Hii ni story gani?
Masiwa ya parchok. Mita masiwa cheko chilangu.
Kuchaba anjon amut. Ako kuinde bichanyi. Ako chichata amon sauce.
Mwanda sauce na bachechi.
Limuru.
Sure.
Yes, it is from a factory in this one near Fresher. Now, how on earth do you come and buy milk from Kiambu? Agib chi lago ga Bomet. Ago michi ga Bomet. Why don't you buy milk from Bomet? Package it, give it to the children, then the money circulates. He's busy sending our money to Kiambu. Like he has done for the last 4 years, and that's why we are very poor.
I don't know Mongo because Mamuja accepting it. I don't want to like in unless what I verify all Chato Gubun one.
No, I'm just telling you food for thought. You go and verify.
Yes.
During an election time like now, how on earth do you put your picture on milk purchased with public funds? It's in this material for ESCC and Electoral Commission. You are misusing resources. These resources do not belong to you. Your picture you don't put in.
But others have been doing it. CDF, for example, most of the time in Yoruba, funded by CDF money.
Yeah, funded by CDF, yes. Funded by CDF financially at this and this. That's okay. That is not Isaac Ruto. No, you never put your name. Anybody putting his name is a very primitive fellow. The Mongan, what he's talking about. This is not your money. It is the money. MP is right. National government, NG. CDF funded. I was still financially.
Though for now, though I'm check of it kinde exclaim ni one thing kayun very clear. Magingen kut kurabinik chi cheba mabuge tanarabinik ab county. Cheba baishen kwa lenje ko.
Cheba baishen kwa lenje ko.
Yes. Because suppose mara kwa chik cheba mabuge yasa also right. Tinya right.
Cheba bunon.
Salary.
Tinya oil so che extract ni
anyway,
where exactly is the oil source? The Mangune Ravini Kikele. He's using government funds to buy the milk. Probably, I think he's using LPOs and writing checks or sending checks, money through email. I mean, through IFMIS. So that's not his money.
Anyway, magi muchika mwacha na mumagingen. Lakini ngisi tengan pacho kidogo.
Yes.
I think the biggest critics chaguget kumwa gole taret is not the best thing. Mangna le ninye goro, how do you define taret? Because most of the people kumwa gole taret kitar suguli nye kisoma lagu agile ni bigeng ground, you know, ni kawaida. It's normal.
Kagile?
Yes. Divine and Gorogi na amene taret. You make it very clear that allegation.
I want to make it very clear.
Yes.
Anybody who is not in school is an adult, has a family, is looking for employment.
Yes.
Now, whether that fellow finished in standard 3, in standard 8, in form 3, at the university, kila mtu amemaliza shule. I want us to separate.
Yes.
And I'm referring into the statistics about the Kenya Bureau of Statistics.
Yes.
Especially the population census about 2019. Currently, 9% of Kenyans did not go to school.
9%.
9% of Kenyans did not go to school. 5% of Kenyans went to ECD and didn't go to standard 1. Another 49% went to primary, but did not proceed to secondary. Then another 15%
secondary
went to secondary, but did not go to tertiary colleges or universities. I want to stop there. That rises to 78%.
Yes.
That is 9 plus 5.
9 plus 5
is 14. Plus 49 is 63.
63.
Plus 15.
78.
78. So you only have 22% of Kenyans who are now either employed like yourselves, or they are in teaching, or they are in police, or army, or whatever. So 22%, I have no problem with that. In fact, in that 22%, what I would think another problem, me don't employ any university students. To me, that group. But let me assume they are okay. They'll find some job somehow.
Yes.
Let's come down now. I think it's 78%. Let me also assume more or less 8%.
Yes.
They found their way through agriculture, through shops, through garages, through Juakali. Okay, agreed, 8%. Where is this 70? What are these 70% of Kenyans? What are they doing? Miano. Now, this is the group. These fellows,
yes.
According to the statistics about population census, how watu wamemaliza shule.
Yes.
Elegi tare kogi kotar. Au kogile mai na nyode jini chuta this group 70% chuki muae census.
Yes.
Kogi kotar sugur.
Yes.
Elegi tare kogi kotar. My problem now as a governor, and if I were the president, is how do we get this group to enjoy a living?
Yes.
How do we get this group to feel happy?
Yes.
How do we give them dignity? You see, for 60 years, we get demonized in this group. We've demonized this group, telling them you are poor because you didn't go to school. You are poor because you failed in Form 4. In your wagailing, oh, poor Lizana, eh? Poor Lizana. We can't help you. Now, is that the message we want to continue bombarding Kenyans with? No, Minasema Pana. These Kenyans must be motivated. These Kenyans must get back their dignity. These Kenyans must be assisted to make a living. Their children must go to school the same way yours and mine are going to school. So what are you going to do? Let's find a way of empowering them. And that's why I'm coming up with a livelihoods program, which must address this people. And there are two people I want to quote. John F. Kennedy, President of the United States in 1963, 60-something there, early there. When he was being sworn in, he said, a free country, it may not be exact words, a free country, a nation that cannot take care of, that cannot help the many who are poor, cannot save the few who are rich. Because the more the poor, the bigger the risk to the rich. And you've seen what happened in Yemen, what happened to Muammar Gaddafi, you've seen what happened in Egypt. You don't need to be told a lot about that. I'm simply telling you, therefore, we must acknowledge this group.
So it doesn't mean that like when the meet school in Nguni. No,
that is nonsense.
Because that is the narrative in the ground. That Goma is a tare like tare.
No.
Give back class 6 Kosawa.
The detractors who are doing something out of context. Kogile tare enegi kotar. Good kotu mitar sugul koi gunda no tare.
I mean, she does so many and good in your Laguna meet in class 8. I go Lelen. Catar class 8. Comas, Gavana Tare, so that the Kimalisa class 8 goes out.
How and if you goes Chetinian negative thinking. Carly William Kazini Kaz. Kwama le Tare. Kiawe Tugan. I had rallies in Baringo.
Yes.
The Baringo people are saying Sabet. Carly Kazini Kazi. Amun tare ago sabet.
Kitinya gaja again mo tikiti. Ne is tikiti. No kazi.
Isn't that correct? Kama kazi ni kazi. Basi Ako tarehe kwa leki tarehe sukuli. Heshimu mimi vile nilivyo. Alafu ya pili maisha yako na maisha yangu ni sawa. Watu wa Baringo walinieleza namna hiyo. Walinjo, we agree with you. Tarehe sabet tulikuwa na huyu huko.
Imo ine chitani mwago lo machi itakene an advantage this group na guitar school mara tare because the thing en Bomet ngu nigelelen parchoka professor. So he's supported by people to meet and professionals and all that.
I've got a lot of professionals supporting me. I'm also school.
I know.
Yeah.
So Melanie Lemachi Takanen, imagine to acknowledge
what advantage call Barchok for a debate with me on this question. And that would be fine. I can hold my fort. I'm simply saying the entire strata of society must be respected.
Yes.
And this is not okoki kumampia kwangu. Hii ndio imeniongoza miaka yote tangu niwe university. Remember, some of us grew up during the times there was the question of we read a lot about Karl Marx and all those other classical thinkers. And there was the question of literature, even in Latin America, the question of the lumpen proletariat. The question of the lumpens. The lumpen proletariat has been a debate throughout history. Yeah, there is the question of dialectics, historical materialism. So if you are a student of historical materialism, you will understand what I'm talking about. I'm coming from the background of the historical materialism, the dialectics, and the haves and the have-nots. We are trying to address the problems of the have-nots. And if we have got care to staggering along to the haves, then we are driving a country in the wrong direction. Let me also tell you, for the last 60 years, we always plan our budget according to the 22%, according to the employed, according to the industrialists. You are not planning the Kenyan budget to support the men who are poor. So this is the awareness I'm trying to drive. That look, we've got to be aware of 70%. Every year, King Ololin, Ketesirobinik Walimu, Ketesirobinik Jesh. If there is a problem with fuel, salary increase kwa workers, who is increasing for the 70%? Nani anaongeza? Why is Uhuru and all other presidents over concerned with only a small population of Kenyans? Chimaita got 20%. We increase for everybody. You can go on strike and stop filming us when you are not given a salary increase. But you don't want to happen.
Fair enough. Another thing, moi vikechangu le support ni toto empome kwa woman. Agitinye candidates na CCM na bartinge woman empome.
We are all in Kenya kwanza. So I can attend. I attended launch of PC. I attended for Brighton. I attended for several MCS. I attended for Toto. When the Mashinani lady, and I respect her a lot, Dr. Milgo. When she launches her campaign, I'll go there and also support her.
So
I only supported Toto. She's a young woman with very powerful ambition. And in my view, we must support the youth to actualize themselves. We must never mamatege sas vijana. Kele ata huyu matinye should not contest. Amun she's 24. Take for instance Chelagat Mutai of Eldoret North. She contested when she was 24. Same age as Toto. Why do you want to harass her? And Kesas Toto, Augi Magisas Chelagan Mutai. Chelagan Mutai performed in Parliament. She was not a sycophant. She was a very brilliant and very forthright debater. In the same league as Akina George Anyona.
So, Magale support in Isaac Toto. Can we say you support Toto as CCM? party
No,
leader.
that is not a CCM. She's
No,
not
as a party
CCM.
leader of CCM.
No,
Are you supporting?
no.
You
I'm
supporting
simply
Toto?
saying, I support the youth.
You support the youth, which means you support the Toto because Nani
is a youth and is contesting for senatorial position. Why don't you talk about
Toto compared to Milgo? Who are youth Toto? If you say you support youth, then in other words, you support the Toto.
Yes, and why not? Who said I don't?
You supporting Toto?
What's the problem? I support vijana waendelee. They should be ambitious, and you see the rest of us who are senior, both in age and public service.
Na mheshimiwa kutisapoti ni
hoji nafasi Yes, we must build on succession.
Yes.
There must be others coming up as we age. There must be others coming up.
Kolia melenji Milgo go step down.
No. I don't believe in that. I believe in free and fair elections and unfettered access to ambition. Unfettered access
to ambition.
And that is what we've been debating even with UDA. And we'll field candidates all over. Let everybody contest elections. No zoning.
Talking of UDA, meeting question at Tevenga Biketang in Nguni. Kiri sign with UDA. Are you formally signed at UDA? You know, it's an agreement between CCM and UDA. Because that is one of the biggest problems.
CCM and UDA.
Yes.
Now, you saw yesterday, Mudavadi and Wetangula negotiated for Western Province to be given 30% of government.
Yes.
Even this guy named Machakos, he came and negotiated for some positions in government. The one from
Kingi
negotiated for some positions in government.
True.
I have nothing to negotiate with William because he's contesting the presidency. William presidency. Mine is to help him get the presidency because he will deliver whatever could deliver in the Ma mucha lenji, he go on what positions Saib Kobaringo. He go on what positions Asiaib Konande.
Yes.
He go on what positions Saib Kunyogibsigis. And no. That doesn't make sense. Ma lenji ni gora kunon 3 ambassadorial positions up big from Bomet. That's nonsense.
So in other words,
he's running for presidency.
Yes.
Mine is to support him to get the presidency.
Lakini you are not going to sign?
No, if there is something to sign, we can sign. I have no problem. In fact, we have written to them a letter signed by myself and the Secretary General and the chairman that we support UDA and that we are in that Kenya Kwanza Alliance. We have signed it and sent it to UDA.
Yes.
So we have no problem. But we are not asking UDA to give us any special favors. No. We've not asked them to give us a share of government. No, we've not asked. We believe if we
because you see, there is an amnesty you need overseen the Isaac Ruto ngajaret. Isaac komi kityo kolen kimiten tugul Kenya Kwanza lakini tom kai ko formally signed kolene kimiten
ikiname very far. Tulianza nao wakaja nyumbani. I was in the NASA camp.
Yes.
Nyoke ngalal akina Mandago were there and others including Kiptoyot and William.
Kyo bel korogot nebo NASA ko
mi jin taw ngalale. Is there such a thing now? I told you, we ourselves exited from NASA just after the elections. In the second vote, we voted for Uhuru Kenyatta as Chama cha Mashinani.
And you signed with Uhuru Kenyatta in Jubilee?
Yes, and we signed. And we delivered all our MPs to Jubilee. They have been working with Jubilee since August 2017. So we've been working with them. So there is no issue there.
So irinje kitugile o support ni William unconditionally. Whether ko sign and ko sign.
Yeah, but we have even written to him to that effect. And we have told them they can even go and bang that at the Register of Political Parties.
Yes.
And if you want that copy, we can even show you. We've done that. We finished that. So where is the issue? We can show you a copy. But we are not asking you to go publish it. You see, because you see, you never know what others can do with such publication. Imagine like it, keep on getting
Yes, yes. Oh,
so,
fair enough.
UDA. Lakini, we don't see the need to negotiate for any special favors or positions, because it is very difficult. Because the same constituents are the same constituents, Chiba William, are my constituents, a large number of them. So, allegedly, Ndagabunu Masai, Katondi can negotiate.
Yes.
Ndagabunu William Turkana, to negotiate. Ndagabunu Ukambani, can negotiate. Like they can negotiate, then they ask somebody who is living inside amongst us. Whatever he brings will belong to the community. You know, if I start saying maybe
yes,
then I'm dividing the people living within the Kalenjin community.
So, because we feel the candidates across Bomet ko, any comfortable with the outcome?
Yes, very comfortable with the outcome. Whoever wins, and remember, we now have about, like in Bomet, there is a candidate about ANC.
Yes.
CCM.
Yes.
And UDA. Now, senators, there's a senator about UDA, senator about Chama Mashinani, and there's a senator about independent.
Yes.
And in almost every county, there is an independent candidate.
Yes.
In almost every constituency, there is an independent candidate. Imagine on this independent candidate cutting a different constituency than the people we are together. Some of them, a large number of them were contesting under UDA. So, and the voters the same. So therefore, even these independent candidates should actually be members, are actually supporters of Kenya Kwanza. And we cannot rubbish them.
Yes.
But William Kowinen, we must give him that unconditional support, all of us.
Yes.
I will go to me another party. You have got to do that. So and so is not ours, me. That is creating a division and very dangerous, because supposing supporters about the independent candidates, supposing they decide they are not voting the presidential candidate,
yes,
isn't that a serious reduction? Even if you reduce 100,000 votes, you can lose an election. Remember, there was one election, was it 2013? The difference was only 700,000. That's a very thin margin.
Presidential elections.
It was between Uhuru and Raila.
And Raila, yeah.
It was hardly 700,000 votes. So that is a very thin margin.
Very thin margin, yeah.
Such that if you eat away through independent candidates that vote, that's very dangerous. So it is not proper. CCM getting parliamentary candidates around 40 in the whole country.
Across the country.
Across the country. We've got over 250 MCS. If you are to tell those ones, no, you are not required, how many votes can they spoil? Maybe they will not do everything, but even if they do 30%, that is still a very dangerous thing. So we don't want that scenario. Because this is an opportunity. William is saying he wants to be president, and we think that's okay. And by the way, we agree with him on.
How much you want the connecting point between bottom up and pesa mashinani? Because I know you champion of pesa, champion ni pesa mashinani, ko champion ni bottom up.
Bottom up and pesa mashinani are the same thing. And I would expect or agree here that clip when I was talking about bottoms up approach to economic development in 2016.
You started talking before even DP?
Yes, long before DP. In fact, my argument with the national government was that they were doing top-down economics. They were even talking of trickle-down economics.
Yes.
Chekiki Guren in the 80s, Reaganomics. chukibo Ronald Reagan
Yes.
and Margaret Thatcher.
Yes.
Let the rich become richer,
And the poor.
and the poor, then there'll be a trickle down to the poor. When the rich are very rich, there'll be kusautugu. Chugiba Lazarus. The Lazarus concept of economics. That Lazarus is eating the crumbs under the table. So let there be a lot of bread on the table. So komiche chefuolenyo. Amunga gubijo so chukwa miche mesed. Lazarus chukwe yake huku chini. So what are we saying? Bottoms-up approach is what I've always supported. The question of pesa mashinani is to spur economic growth below.
Yes.
We actually say pesa mashinani for maendeleo mashinani, for bottoms-up economic growth.
Yes.
That is the same thing. Kole kazi ni kazi. That's what we have been saying. Kazi ni kazi
is one and the same.
It's one and the same thing. What else? Almost everything.
Yes.
He's saying, let us add more
resources
to the counties. That is what we are fighting for. So what else are we disagreeing? It's all the same now. More money, more resources. I've been talking about the parliamentary system of government. I can see it is now coming again. Again, Mudavadi and the rest. It means we are bringing in a parliamentary system of government.
Yes.
That's another debate for another day. But the point here is economic growth from below.
Okay, alright, negit kagi titate kogi sunet not nabo interview na unity no level student beta raini legimiten ak governor ne tai nebo county not nebo Bomet gure na isa kruten beta raini ago negit kagi wanguna ten nguni lakini imuchi iyo which questions ugete nango lesa kabit ke sharan kora baadaye kenegele tos kiwalunda ne beta raini niteta ne kwa celeb check gure na Lovechild Simon Arab kirich mtoto raba nyumbani kama legend is be live and ore nebo Facebook and ore nebo Twitter and ore tnoto nebo YouTube ago imuchi nyoru kora ngalalne agenge en agenge ingetishi noto nebo Emoo FM ingbe tutabraini kigesunoti kityo mheshimiwa gomitenin there is these perceptions kigoma kole big inyewe iji ne tare tuyet inyewe iji ne ngokwanya kasit iloktoi kambut ana iroktoi kambut. You know, this is a perception smart and tinye big, but how is it going?
Let me tell you, I'm the one who talked about the gambuts.
Yes.
And I like talking jokes, a lot of it.
Yes.
And
my
meetings are supposed to be lively. Would be morning. They must feel happy and they go back home light. Because
that is, you know,
so, a lot of that is propaganda. And I want you to seriously listen to it. It was the time when we were in ODM.
Yes.
And we had just started disagreeing with Raila Odinga. Over several things. Distribution of cabinet slots.
Yes, yes.
Maendeleo.
During the Grand Coalition government.
Yeah, Grand Coalition. And the harassment in the Mau area. Our Kemigani said in the AGC area and Narok. And Transmara. I think Changana or somewhere there.
Yes.
All NGB in just the last election. Kigi or panye.
Yes.
Agin the saburiet no. Agin the muchele gori pamoja na soup na kila kitu.
Yes.
Agi go jita kopcheywe. Alenji ko ko tuju.
Yes, yes.
Alenji ko ngot ko ga eti. O yanwa ni ngot ko mata ko chamwe ke pateken amun ko gi we tuju. Ko baru tuju. All these goodies ko chap tuju. Kama ya nakata unikubalia nikanyage hii soup yake. Alenji ko ngot ko be lebigi. Ateje gambu. Logo. Aga view tap tuga. Nakuja kuingiza bugu kundani. Single lengo ya sutege, ko it is now
yes.
He will no longer. Yes. He will neither partake of it nor us. Amunga energy in the first place. Now that wasn't a violent thing. I was giving a figurative way of talking. That look, we have formed a government together under ODM. Lakini ametuside line. kama ameanza kutu sideline na kutunyang'anya hata ile tulikuwa naye,
yes,
then there is no need for us to continue with ODM.
Mkutano sasa takwisha.
I was talking about ODM. Mkutano ya
mkutano takwisha.
Mkutano takwisha. Some fellows called a meeting in Bomet. I was the governor.
Yes.
They didn't tell me that there was such a thing. And then the deputy president just arrived. And then I went there to contribute. And what happened is that they ferried.
Yes.
They ferried some fellows in lorries and heckled me in the meeting.
Yes, yes.
Then I told them, and the DC, if you looked at the video, the DC was asking them to come, and the local member of parliament was telling them, talk, disrupt, and you can see him in the video. You can check the video. Then I told them, man, you are joking. Because you see, I also have supporters here. If we choose, if I were to choose to tell the people also to start heckling, then there would be no meeting. If it is heckling with that group and heckling with this group.
So ilikuwa provocation. Kiki provoking.
They were actually provoking me on stage. And it was a very deliberate thing being done by the county commissioner and the local member of parliament of Bomet Central with the tacit approval then of the powers that be.
Yes.
So you see, if you are doing that, I'm not one person who is a little bit. Maybe I have that fault. You don't scare me.
Vile parcho gitartuye nikibada vitu president the other day.
Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. Raia walikataa maneno yake sababu yeye alisema watu
actually gile parcho ginye nige blame in all that thing. Because you are the one mwenye ulileta fujo.
Hakuna fujo tuleta. I never transported anybody. It was Parcho who transported. Everybody was in the field. Ago la kingora ikiwa UDA. The same people removed the clothes by 10 o'clock. We are here in our own right. And that look, kila mtu amekuja kwa hii kiwanja. And a lot of us are also CCM. A lot of, and probably some of them are UDA.
Yes.
So they said we are welcoming the deputy president. The deputy president asked them, Ogonon Necherene about president.
Yes. Yes.
What? Oguna never governor, Keleji. Yes, you will never governor, lakini Mashinani, isn't it? Amungi Kalengo Loguna never UTA. We are giving you Mashinani. And that is where the whole thing may be viewed to have been
now,
on my side. The other thing is Barchok alikatazwa kuongea na nani. But Barchok is the one who incited the people against himself. Amungi Gale, this is a UDA affair. Amat kunyo chini mwa UDA. Killing is no, give me William, I go give me Bomet.
Yes.
And whenever a presidential candidate comes or a president comes, all citizens came to Yejiniata. Because Nigeria Nimbo president, there is no president never UDA and then president never another party. If you are a presidential candidate, you will be a president for all of us. So, but that doesn't mean we are all in the same political parties. No, but president tunaungana huko. Lakini ako tundagia 2 years sahi Bomet. You cannot tell us you can tell even Kano not to come. Even the people in the field, some of them were Kano. Sasa wewe utafukuza namna gani? So Barchok is the one who said watu wasikuja. And in the morning alifukuza watu wengine supporters wako Chigiba Musoni walipigwa na kunyang'anywa Ngorai Chigiba Musoni. So the whole field was actually wide.
Kaibu chata tukul so that in that perceptions na go build and big across their heads. Kungo Isaac Ruto. You know, ichine une. What kind of a person?
You know, perception is up to the person seeing.
So
mine is one is, well, maybe it's a fault. I'm not easy to be cowed.
Yes.
And that is maybe a fault for a long time. But I like debate, and I would like to see sense in what you're telling me. And if I disagree with you, maybe nitasema. So good disagreement with sometimes disagreements with the powers that be means being I don't know what violent. Then I don't know about that. But remember, in 2017, just after we finished, the Raila Odinga group talked about dividing Kenya into two, and I told them off.
The last time we had Kalonzo Musyoka, invitation about Emoo FM. Kumwa like kira kiamwan achek tugul from Raila to Musalia to Wetangula kalegi agwa amwan tugul kolege gonin yego president in Rito. Yes. Actually, I think they come even to your place.
They did. They did. We were having a meeting in Karen. And Kimi stalemate between Kalonzo
and
Raila. And even Mudavadi one the same. Eventually, they came up with what they said was a consensus. That therefore, because we must fight the Uhuru government as one group, because they could not agree. Then they said, then the compromise candidate for Isaac Ruto. They told me that on a Saturday, and I told them no. The next day in the morning, I think, was it a Friday, when we were now coming to Uhuru Park.
Yes.
We met again in the morning. And I told them, if you propose my name, if you put my name and in Uhuru Park,
yes,
I will stand up and say no. I told them, I'm not ready. Psychologically, I'm not even
Chile, you are not ready, but Chile, we were ready to fund him.
No, NASA have assembled the resources for this campaign.
Yes. Wewe ni kusimama tu.
Yako ni kujitokeza na kusimama.
Yes.
Then I told them, psychologically, I'm not ready to contest the presidency. Me, I'm still contesting
for the governor.
For the gubernatorial seat. And I'm only supporting the ideas within NASA. But not to contest the presidency. And I think the last meeting we had with Kalonzo and Raila, just before we came. Then Kalonzo and Raila, then they called him Mudavadi, and we agreed. Wacha tu tinga aende kwa hiyo maneno na huyo mwingine, because I was going to disagree.
So it's not that Gelhinyo
worried. Kiwanja walikuwa wameweka kiti yangu katikati na kuandika
the president they'll coming.
Walikuwa wameniandikia kiti yangu iwe katikati ati mimi ndio candidate that they were going to give a surprise candidate, which they kept saying from Friday.
Yes.
That we are
the surprise one, unveiling.
We are unveiling a surprise candidate. But you see, it never leaked that surprise candidate was now myself.
Yes.
When I came home, I could not even tell my wife that I have been proposed as a presidential candidate for NASA.
I'm saying that because that was what was happening behind the scene.
That is what had happened. And Kalonzo Musyoka is the one who put it on the table for debate.
Now, you understand Kalonzo more than anybody else. Yes. Because what will happen, sir? Suppose Kalonzo.
I was his assistant minister in 1998. He was Minister for Education. I was Assistant Minister for Education. So
I'm in primary school.
Primary
I can imagine that.
1998, I was Assistant Minister for Education.
I think I was in class 3. Anyway, so Ingen Kalonzo more than anyone.
Yes.
Suppose Ndabagu pick and go Kalonzo, Koigraning with Raila Odinga, of which some of the things to go get the interview, the Nini. Do you think Kalonzo will stay? Maybe Gereng Mungitio, personally.
Kalonzo will stay. Kalonzo will eventually stay. You know, he sometimes gets annoyed. Like he has been wronged. It looks like he has been wronged more than any other person. He has been changed.
Yes.
Apparently.
Yes.
And but nevertheless, I think wisdom would prevail on him. You never know. Because it depends on what his solid background is saying.
Yes.
Because somehow at the end of the day, Kalonzo may not quite live within those circles. Because I don't know what it is that binds him to Raila. At the end of the day, they are still together. And sometimes Kalonzo throws tantrums. And then you find him going back. He has done that before.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is not the first time.
Yeah. Even that time when we were debating, until he was suggesting that another candidate be appointed because they could not agree. He was very vehement. But nevertheless, I don't want to speak for him. And I would be grateful if he could come over to Kenya Kwanza.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. But I know there are certain things again. Munga sikonyo
Kagila nanyo ne Kenya Kwanza kwesike mutua.
Yeah, na munga sikonyo mutua yu. Therefore, I don't think Kalonzo is likely to follow him. Because these two repel. So it is because of Mutua's immediate entry.
Yes, yes.
There is a challenge there. But I wish Mutua had stayed and allowed Kalonzo to come in.
To come in.
Because that would have been a game changer. Because the much needed balance would quickly arrive. The +1 would quickly arrive. Because what we really need is that heavy influence.
But let's look at Mutua, Kingi. Toskoibu any impact kwenye Kenya Kwanza?
Let me tell you, like I was telling you, every vote counts in a presidential election like this. Every vote counts. We need Kalonzo, no, forget about Kalonzo, we need Mutua just like we need King. It does not matter how many votes they come with.
Yes.
Even if they come with 50,000, that is much needed. Another one coming with 200,000.
The agreement go
no.
Will they achieve?
Of course, in politics, you must aim at the sky. You aim at the sun to land at the moon. Yes, if you say deliver 70%, fine, let the guy even give you 45%. That's wonderful. And you know what, I can quickly tell you, if Mudavade and Wetangula delivers 35%, they will have delivered 70%. Would you like to know how?
Yes.
35% in politics is 70%.
Look 35% is 70%.
Look at this, these hands. You know, you know Mudavade and Wetangula have been in Raila's camp.
Yes, for the longest time.
So, if you take away 2 votes from your opponent, they multiply to be 4. Look at my hands now. 5-5.
5-5.
Senor?
Yes.
So, if you take away 1 like this is 4-6.
4-6, sure.
What happened? Why is it 4-6?
Because
you subtract and you add. So you subtract 35% from Raila,
yes,
and you add 35% on William. Then you get 70%. So where is the problem? These fellows can deliver 70%. Because this is my calculation. That is how you do in politics. Let me tell you, if you add 1,
yes,
which is arriving, you bring from somewhere else, inakuwa 6 to 5, still a tight race. But if you subtract from the other guy to add here,
yes,
you get 6 to 4. The difference is twice.
True. So, do you think you get 50 plus 1%?
Yeah, I can
50%
see
50% plus 1. Yeah. So
it's going to get.
No.
We believe and we hope that it does happen.
I'm also going to fast committing a lot of picture bometa mogera lago geske site. Like even before that, you know, on a personal level, what is the hope in the Mungan Mara? Siasa, of course, I'm a busy young like Siasa, but most of the time when you are not even doing politics.
When I'm not doing politics, I like reading. Yes. I like reading.
What kind of readings? I mean, novels,
no,
or the current
classical thinking. Thinkers, Aristotle, philosophers.
You love history. History.
History is not philosophy. Philosophy was the main subject before you started.
Agrarian revolution and the rest. You understand that very well.
That's my business.
Hitler.
Yes. And then the classical thinkers and the various thinking in history, the great thinkers, and then those people who have influenced society greatly. I like looking at what they had in mind, what drove them, like what drove the American Revolution, to get independence. I like reading those various aspects of detailed happenings and the forces that drove those things. Yes, it's better you understand society better. I'm not a physics fellow, so I'm not going to go into. But I like knowing in physics, for example, those fellows who discovered various things like probably genetics, that is in chemistry or in biology, and others, those who did plenty.
Dagi me mwana siasa kona gitagana to yai. Lele mbika lagi wara comedian. You are kind of a comedian. Dagi mago siasa. Those negi
But I still do comedy on the platform. Because you see, people don't come to your function to come and still. You don't give them and give them lectures.
Yes.
And that is why I like simplifying my messages. Yeah, I simplify them until they understand it at the lowest level. And then some people think I'm not even schooled because the way I explain things, they may look a little bit too simplistic.
Yes.
But there is plenty of thought behind what I say. It's not just things that are haywire. If you challenge me on an intellectual forum, I can explain. Yeah. But I can also explain in
a simplified
language.
way.
Yes.
Galal jimbike ba bomet.
Bas ko piga bomet ko amacha makinem ni ngasare kagibe ngalega bujakus. Aga amacha sam alenji engenyini asamu gonan kura chabo gavana. Ago kora gas pikecha jimache gewe tu kegimi. I will not only bring that lakini atini chitako chango sir. Amun kwa mfano kigitindai 3 billion up to a maximum of what we spend was hardly 3.5 billion. There is plenty up to 6, 7, 8 billion, right, up to 9. So how much 100 million per ward. Konyongo ba line it never livelihoods. To improve the lives of people directly. While ketese ta at the normal projects. Lagini mago news nalega barabara for a governor. Mago news nalega of infrastructure. We must continue doing that. Lakini kimache lay emphasis on the livelihoods.
Yes.
And to eliminate poverty, reduce the poverty threats, especially amongst the youth, akina mama, and then of course everybody else, and bring back business, Chegimi Bomet, bring it back to the people of Bomet, and again continue at the national level. Agitana devolved units continue to succeed, and that has been my passion throughout my political career.
Thank you very much. Ongo missing. Taret.
Kabisa. Ogo tinya giri tar. Ogi gotar weri.
Ki
Ogi taragade. Ogi ataragade. Yagi tare chitu ogi gotar. And this is not applicable to anyone who is still in school. It is only applicable to those who have finished school.
Kongo missing. Thank you very much. Natako governor ne tai ne ba county not ne ba Bomet. Negi mitendo ne kaskala ngutabe tabra ne kastana ni ago amachiko bit isim ngalala ne agenge enketise ne ba Emoo FM. Aginyoru en platforms tell the social media jabagetise ne ba Emoo FM from Facebook ago YouTube inyoru tugul engbetu tabra ne. Kiguruna Simon Arab Krich, Lovechild mtoto na nyumbani. Ago next time bye.